Hi everyone, this is Ms. Faina. Today we're going to be working out test review number 3. So our first question we have is g of x equals negative 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. We want to find g of negative 2. So what that means is we're going to take this value right here of negative 2 and plug it in for each of the x's. We have to make sure that we put parentheses around the negative 2. And that the exponent, the squared, goes on the outside of the parentheses. Then I have minus 4 times negative 2 plus 12. So now I'm going to switch over to my calculator. Okay, and I'm going to go just to the regular calculator function. Nothing special for this one. So I'm going to put my notes on top, hopefully. There we go. And I'm just going to type in that entire equation. So I have negative 3 times negative 2, close parentheses, then squared, minus 4 times negative 2, plus 12. And then I hit enter, and it tells me that my answer is 8. Okay, looking at the next question, it says, what values of a make negative 5 times 4a minus 2 equal to negative 2 times 3 plus 6a true? So we're going to stay in the calculator and we're going to use that. So we're going to go to menu, number 3, which is algebra, and number 2, which is solve systems of linear equations. And I'm going to change the number of equations from 2 to the number 1. And then I'm going to change my variable from x, and since I'm using a's here, I'm going to change it to a. And then I'm just going to hit OK or enter. So now we're going to type in that whole entire equation into the calculator. Okay, so I have negative 5 times 4a minus 2, close my parentheses, equals negative 2 times 3 plus 6a, and close my parentheses again. Double check to make sure I typed in everything correctly. And I hit enter, and it tells me that my answer is 2. Okay. Then I look at my next question. Let's see what it says. Solve the following equation for n. So again, it's the same concept as what we just did. So menu. If you're on the iPad calculator, it takes you right back to that solve systems. Okay, but if you're on the yellow school calculator, again, menu, number 3, number 2, and again, we want to change the number of equations from 2 to 1. And this time I'm going to change my variable to the letter n, and it's down here, which a was 2, and I forgot about that. And then I'm going to move my notes over and hit OK. So one more time, moving them over. Now I'm just going to type in that equation. So I have 5 times 2n plus 6, close parentheses, equals negative 4 times negative 5 minus 2n, close parentheses, plus 3n. Okay, so I have it all typed in. Double check, make sure you typed it in correctly. We press enter, and it tells us that our answer is 10. Okay, so that's how we would use the calculator for the first 3 questions. Okay, looking at the next part, this is a paragraph about the graph to the right. So let's see. It says a graph to the right represents a blank function. Well, it's a U shape, which means it's going to be a quadratic function right there. The blank of the graph function is y equals x squared. That would be known as the parent equation. Okay. Its direction of opening is blank. Well, it's making that U-shaped smiley face, so that's going to be upward. The blank or minimum is at the point 3, negative 9. That's this point right here. That is also known as the vertex. Okay, it has a blank value of -9. Well, -9 is the lowest value, so that is known as the minimum value or min value. The blank is the line x equals 3, so that would be this little line right here that cuts it directly in half where everything's symmetrical, which is known as our axis of symmetry. Okay, it has two blanks at 0, 0, and 6, 0. So 0, 0 is here, 6, 0 is here. They both fall on that x-axis, which makes them either x-intercepts, which I don't have that option, solutions, that's not there, or zeros. Okay, and it has a blank at 0, 0. Well, 0, 0 is a 0 and an x-intercept and a solution, but it's also on the y-axis, which makes it a y-intercept. Okay, then we have the blank of the graph is all real numbers, and the blank of the graph is y is greater than or equal to -9. Well, when we're talking about all real numbers, that means our graph's going to keep going to the left and the right forever and ever and ever. So that's going to be our domain. And because this one is talking about y, it's going to be our range. So that's just getting some practice using some important vocabulary from the quadratic topic. Okay. Looking at the next part, it says which of the following is equivalent. So it looks like we're dealing with some exponent properties. So I'm going to zoom in on the problem. We're just going to focus on that. Remember, we take our numbers and we divide them like normal. 9 divided by 3 is just 3. With our variables, we subtract their exponents. So g can only go with another g. So I have g to the second minus -7 power. Well, two negatives make it a positive, so it's really 2 plus 7, which makes it g to the 9th power. Then I look at my h values. So I have h to the 1st power and h to the 3rd power, so I'm going to subtract that. H to the 1 minus 3 power, and that gives me h to the -2nd power. If I look at my answer choices, none of them have negative exponents. So therefore, I have to remember that negative exponent property, which tells me that because this has a negative exponent, I'm going to move it to the denominator. So everything's currently over the number 1. So the 3g to the 9th get to stay on top, but the h to the -2nd power moves to the bottom, so that -2 turns into a +2. So if I look at my options, it looks like my answer is answer B. Okay, looking at number 2, which of the following is equivalent to 3r squared times -8r to the 5th power? So again, we're going to take our coefficients, which are the numbers, and this time we're just going to multiply them. 3 times -8, and that gives me a -24. Okay. Then I take my variables and I'm going to add their exponents. So I have r to the 2 plus -5 power, which gives me r to the -3rd power. I look at my answer choices and it looks like that would be answer choice D. Okay, the next one tells me that I have -8 a to the 6 b c squared all to the 2nd power. That means each item inside the parentheses is raised to the 2nd power. So I have -8 squared, which gives me 64. Now, this 2 is going to be distributed to all the other exponents, and we're going to multiply. Okay, so when we multiply, we get 6 times 2, which is a to the 12th. And then I have to multiply it to the 1 that's with the b. So 2 times 1 is b squared, and then 2 times 2 would give me c to the 4th power. If I look at my options, It looks like it is answer choice C. Okay, looking at number 4 again, which is equivalent to, I have 5x squared in parentheses all to the 0 power. Remember, anything to the 0 power is automatically 1. Just 1, that's it. Okay, looking at number 4, or not number 4, the next set, sorry, room 4. A set of weights includes a 4-pound barbell and 6 pairs of weighted plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds. If X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, the total weight of the barbell and plates in pounds can be represented by f of x equals 20x plus 4. What is the range for this situation? Remember, range is our y values. But in order to find the range, we have to actually know, like, what is the domain, the x values. So it tells us that x number of pairs that we're adding. So we can add 0 pairs of weights, 1 pair of weights, 2 pairs of weights, 3 pairs of weights, 4, 5, or 6 pairs of weights. That's the domain, okay? Which means if we look at our answer choices, we could eliminate answer choice A and probably answer choice C. Because what we have to figure out is how much is this actually going to weigh? What is the total weight if we add these pairs of plates? So that means we have to take our domain and we have to plug it in for this x value to figure out the total weight. So if I take 20 and I put 0 weights on there, okay, I have 20 times 0, which is 0 plus 4. That means it's only going to be 4 pounds. If I have 20 and I put 1 pair of weights on there, that's 20 times 1, which is 20 plus 4, which is 24 pounds. If I have 2 pairs of plates, that's 20 times 2, which is 40, plus 4, that would give me 44 pounds. So looking at my options, D does not have that 24 pounds that we would have. So it looks like our answer is going to be B. Okay, now looking at the next one, it says the student council sent its members on 4 field trips during the school year. The number of buses needed to transport the members on each trip is a function of the number of members who went on each trip. The function consists of only these ordered pairs: 52, 3, 72, 4, 76, 5, and 105, 6. What is the domain of the situation? Again, domain is our x values. So every ordered pair is x, y. And we just want the list of the x values. So we're just looking for 52, 72, 86, and 105, which tells me answer choice H is the correct one. Looking at the next one, going back to talking about the key features of a quadratic function. So it says find the domain. Well, it does have arrows, which means it's going to keep opening left and right forever and ever and ever, which makes our domain all real numbers. Okay, find the range of this function. Well, range talks about the the y values, So we know we can eliminate answer choice A, and it's not going up and down forever and ever, so we can eliminate all real numbers. So we just need to know, are the values getting less than or equal to? So are they getting less than 1 or less than y, so they're going down? Or are all the values getting bigger? Well, if we look, 1 is as high as they can go, which means 1 is the biggest value. So we want to choose answer choice B. Now we have some true-false statements based on this graph. So it says the above graph function is a linear function. That is false. We all know that is a quadratic function. Okay. The function has 2 zeros at 1 and 3. That means it crosses the x-axis at 2 points. It does cross it at 1 and it does cross it at 3. So that is a true statement. The function has an axis of symmetry at y equals 1. Axis of symmetry is always x equals. And it's the x value of the vertex, which would be 2, 1, and the x value is 2, so it should be x equals 2. That is a false statement. And then the function has a y-intercept at -4, 0. Well, the point -4, 0 would be right here on the x-axis, which is not a y-intercept, so that is a false statement. The y-intercept is somewhere around here, and it looks like it's a decimal. It's between -4 and 3. -4 and -3, so it's going to be a decimal, which means it's not -4, 0. So that doesn't work. And y-intercepts are written as 0, comma, whatever the y value is. So that was just written all kinds of wrong. Looking at the next one, we have some multiplying. So if you want to draw the box, you can draw the box. Just for sake of time, I'm just going to show you the distributing. So I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to multiply it by 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. X to the first times x squared is x cubed, and then the y squared just tags along. And then I have 2 times -7, which gives me -14. There's no x there, so the x to the first tags along, and y squared times y squared is y to the fourth. So that would be the final answer for this one. Okay, looking at the next one, we have a -3x to the fourth times 2x minus 5. So I multiply -3x to the fourth times 2x to the first would give me a -6. X, I add 4 plus 1 and get 5. And then I distribute -3x to the fourth times -5. Two negatives give me a positive 15. X to the fourth just tags along. Okay, the last one, again, oh sorry, that would be our final answer. Next one, we have -2x times 2x to the fourth. That would give me a -4x to the fifth. -2x times a 3x cubed would give me a -6x to the fourth. And -2x times 1, a -1, which would make it a positive 2, and the x tags along. And that would be my final answer. And all of these answer choices should be over here in this box. Okay, looking at the next part, it says which expression is equivalent. So this is where we're going to draw our box and we're going to multiply. Okay, so I have 2x minus 5 and x minus 3. Remember the x has a 1 in front, so I do 2x times 1x. I get 2x squared. 2x times -3 gives me a -6x. -5 times 1x is a -5x, and -5 times -3 is a positive 15. I look for my like terms, it's the diagonal, so I get 2x squared. I add -5x plus -6x, that gives me a -11x plus 15, which gives me answer choice D. Okay, the next one, same concept, but we have to remember that when I see an exponent of a 2, okay, it really means that I have 3x minus 4 times 3x minus 4. So I do 3x minus 4 times 3x minus 4, and I multiply. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times -4 is a -12x. -4 times 3x is a -12x, and -4 times -4 is a positive 16. So I have like terms, and again, I'm going to add them, which gives me 9x squared minus 24x plus 16, which is answer choice B. Okay, looking at number 3, same concept, so I'm going to draw my box. Oops. So I have 4x minus 3 and 4x plus 3. I multiply. 4x times 4x is 16x squared. 4x times 3x is a positive 12x. -3 times a 4x is a -12x. And -3 times positive 3 is a -9. My diagonals are my like terms, so I'm going to add them. I get 16x squared. -12x plus 12x is 0. So I'm just left with 16x squared minus 9, which is answer choice D. Okay, looking at the last little bit, which quadratic function meets the following criteria? It has 1, 0, so that means it can only touch or cross the x-axis one time, which means I can eliminate answer choice B because it doesn't touch it at all, and answer choice C because it's crossing it at 2 different points. And then it says it opens down, which only gives me answer choice D as an option because A opens up. We didn't even have to look at the y-intercept part, but it does cross at -4 down here. Okay, now this one is all calculator. So these 2 or 3 are all calculator. So I'm going to switch over to my calculator. And I'm going to go ahead and go over to list in spreadsheets because that's what we're going to end up needing. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting it up. So X goes here, Y goes with B, and then we just need our points. So I'm going to put the notes on top. So it says, what is the rate of change for the a line that goes through these points? So I have 2 and 6 as x values, and the y value for 2 was -4, and the y value for 6 was 8. Then I go to menu, statistics, stat calculations, linear regression, mx plus b. I'm changing my x list to x, my y list to y. Paper's always in the way. And then I just hit OK, and I'm looking for the m, and it tells me the m is 3. So my slope is 3. There it is. Okay, next it says, what is the slope of the equation? Hopefully you know y equals mx plus b. And you would be able to tell that it's 1. But if you forgot, you can always go to the graph part. And you could type in the equation. So we're just going to type in x minus 5. Press enter. You go to menu, analyze graph, dy dx. And the graph starts flashing. And when you look, it gives you a point that tells you that the slope is 1. Okay, and then the next part we want to know, what is the parent equation to a linear function? Well, x squared is not, and 2 to the x is not. Mx plus b is just a formula we have, so it has to be answer choice C, which is y equals x or f of x equals x. Okay, the next one we do have to go back to our list in spreadsheets. So x, A, next, or not A, B, hello. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go B here. Oh, see, look, Miss Raina messed up here. Let's just start over. Okay, so A, we're going to type in X. Next to B, we're going to type in Y. There we go. And I'm going to type in my table. So I'm going to make sure I can see it. So my X values are -1, 1, 2, and 3. My Y values are -18, 0, 9, and +18. Menu, statistics, stat calculations, linear regression, mx plus b. Next to x list, I'm typing in x. Next to y list, I'm typing in y. And it tells me that my m is 9, my b is -9. Looking at my answer choices, that tells me that my answer should be answer choice C. Okay, so this is your review for test number 3. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask your teacher for help. We're here to help you before the test, so make sure you study and understand everything. Other than that, have a great day, Rangers.